Alright, this video is going to be pretty relaxed. It's definitely more of a chill tone, but I think that makes sense given what I'm talking about. See, I've always been invested in shooters, action games, competitive games, ever since I was a kid, right? I pursued an esports career for a reason, but there has always been this lingering passion for video games as a whole. And when COVID hit and I eventually retired, it gave me a lot of time to seriously venture into genres and styles of games that I had never taken seriously or had even tried. Now, my library and playtime is spread across a bunch of genres I never ever thought I'd be interested in. One of the most formative, if not the most formative genre throughout this time has definitely been roguelikes. These are an absolute staple for me now, and I'm so glad the genre spans as wide as it does. But even within roguelikes, I was playing Hades, Gunfire Reborn, Vampire Survivors, Rogue Legacy 2, games with more action than anything else. At some point though, deck builders managed to break through, and I credit this entirely to Monster Train. Monster Train is fucking awesome, and it did some crucial things for me that opened my eyes to what was possible in deck builders. It made me feel smart every time I cooked up some crazy combination, but also showed me how exhilarating playing a card game could be. Like the right combination of dopamine-inducing visuals, sound design, and animation occurring off the back of my intellect. Like me. I was crafty enough to realize that these cards interacted like this, and that would give me an insane advantage over these enemies, and I get rewarded for it too. Like that gameplay loop isn't unfamiliar to me, but there's something very special about pulling it off in a card game that makes you feel extra clever. Either way, that started the spiral, and at some point I just said, fuck it. I want to get really good at Slay the Spire. It's the game that is universally considered the GOAT of the genre, and some even consider it the greatest roguelike of all time. So I thought I'd go amiss if I never put some real time into learning it, and I mean, yeah, holy shit, this game whips you around the emotional spectrum like never before. It'll make me feel insanely smart and proud of myself for playing so well, and then absolutely rampage my emotions after I play too fast or make a mistake. The good thing about experiencing the highs and lows though is that you learn a lot, and that is the biggest motivation for me when it comes to making this video. In the 180 hours that I've put into Slay the Spire, it has taught me more about deck builders, roguelikes, and even myself than I ever thought it would. And I am serious about that last one too. Slay the Spire has made me so frustratingly aware of how my tendency to think too quickly is just a detriment to me in so many games that I play. It has almost forced me to slow down and just think more. I'm dead serious when I say that Slay the Spire punishing my rash decision making actually made me more likely to just stop, look at the bullets coming my way, and dodge them much easier in fucking Realm of the Mad God. Like Slay the Spire forcing me to slow down made me hyper aware of when I overreact or react too quickly in other games. How does a deck builder have any tangible impact in a permadeath bullet hell MMO? It's a damn good deck builder, that's how. The lessons don't stop there either. Slay the Spire teaches you fundamentals that are incredibly relevant in other games and genres. The mantra that you should be making decisions based on your immediate problems rather than your upcoming problems is a fantastic thought process to take elsewhere. Picking a card you know will be useful later but not useful now ends up being a bad decision. How can you expect to even face future problems if you're not expected to get through your existing ones? That line of thinking works great in most roguelikes and in games like TFT as well. But even mantras like that aren't cut and dry. There's complexities in the learnings, and that's what makes Slay the Spire even more compelling. Having the ability to disrespect or throw to the side everything the game has taught you and still come out on top because the game's design allows for it. Slay the Spire also obviously forces you to think outside the box. It's increasingly crazy to me how many combinations or synergies I think of on my own. Usually I'm pretty reliant on tutorials or guides and plays like Frost Prime or Baylor Lord to teach me about synergies and strategies, but I've surprised myself with my own intuition pretty often. My brain is getting better and better at working like that because Slay the Spire encourages it and actually kind of indirectly teaches you it as well. The more I play, the more I learn lessons I feel apply everywhere and not just within Slay the Spire. I am not going to go into detail or review Slay the Spire. I do want to do a video on deck builders as a whole, but I gotta get through a lot of them if I want to do that. But I will say this, I can't think of any other word to describe Slay the Spire better than pure. What I mean by pure is that Slay the Spire is so unbothered and not at all interested in super complex mechanics, overpowered meta progression systems, or anything else that dilutes the experience. It's not fussed with crazy RNG or obnoxious animations or visuals. Slay the Spire is the quintessential deck builder because it focuses on that as the priority. Build your deck, earn your rewards, make your own choices. When you start a run in Slay the Spire, you're venturing through halls you've seen before, cards you've seen before, enemies and bosses you've seen before, and plenty more that definitely isn't new to you, but somehow it doesn't feel like the 200th run. it feels fresh, you know? It feels like a new day, a new opportunity with decisions that you've never made before and circumstances entirely different to ones you've faced previously. And the best part about that variance is when it's your 200th run or your 300th run or your 1000th run, your bank of experience is being challenged, and that is truly invigorating. I've fought plenty of Lagavulins, but this motherfucker always gets hits off on me, and every time I see him, I am determined to come out the better. So each time I have to look at those lessons I've learned, the muscle memory I've built, and the skills I've acquired if I want to beat him. This game has beaten me down more times than I can count, but because Slay the Spire's priority is giving you freedom to make those choices, whether I win or lose, man, it was my own doing. And you're going to say, yeah, but that's every roguelike. And I know that, but the way that Slay the Spire does it is so authentic. Like, you are trapped in a spire you are entirely familiar with, and yet this is one of the most freeing roguelike experiences I've ever had. Yeah, the game takes place in confined spaces, but the game design is out here making it look like you're frolicking through open fields with the freedoms you have. It is this authentic game design in combination with the game's balance that is somehow able to simultaneously punish you for mistakes while also leaving the door wide open for overpowered combinations. That's why this game is so damn good. And I haven't even beat the fucking heart yet, man. 180 hours in, and my goal right now is just A20 on each character. I've done it on the Ironclad, and now I'm working on the Defect. It's also insane to me that people can come into this game and just beat A20 in like 40 hours. Like, I don't have the card game experience to pull that off. My brain doesn't work like that. It doesn't have the cognitive abilities to be exceptionally good at Slay the Spire yet. But thankfully, I'm getting there. Well, at least I feel like I'm getting there. I'm learning and I'm improving. I'm adding new things to my repertoire every time I play. Slay the Spire has had a pretty profound impact on me in comparison to the impact I thought it would have. I thought I'd fail and learn and eventually beat the game and move on. But it's pretty clear that this game is much deeper and more compelling than I anticipated. It's shaped how I think about elements of game design, it's shaped how I think about my choices in other games, and it's informed me of problems I have myself, which is fucking crazy, man. Very few games have had this kind of impact on me. Namely, I remember the DayZ mod informing my third-person shooter playstyle quite a bit, which ended up giving me an advantage in PUBG at the beginning. And in the same vein, when I return to conquer Monster Train, Slay the Spire will have equipped me insanely well for that challenge. And for that, I am grateful. If you have not given Slay the Spire a chance yet, and this video didn't convince you, I don't know, man. Give it a go. I've also been streaming Slay the Spire recently, so if you're interested in giving me advice, then I'm happy to be backseated all stream long. I know it would be smart to put this video up at the same time that I go live, but no promises. So if that's not the case, then a follow would still be immensely appreciated. And yeah, I just hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys later.